Good morning, Strong Tower. I'm Ebony Funderburk. I own and operate EFG Promotions and Consulting. I am a 25-year gospel music industry vet, and I'm celebrating this year as well, my 15th year as an entrepreneur. If you had asked me 25 years ago, did I see myself doing this? I would have said, I had no clue. I had no idea that this is what it was going to be. I really thought I was going to be a singer, and God just put me on a completely different path to work behind the scenes label side. I remember in 2003, I had just been, or 3, 4, I had just been recruited over to EMI Gospel from Verity Records. Now, Verity was like the hot ticket. It was the number one gospel label literally in the world. We had everybody on this label. Um, but I really felt like it was time for me to go, and the Lord opened this door. It was clearly God opened this door. I didn't go looking for the job, it came to me. And so I went ahead and took the job. And as I took the job, there were people who were saying I wasn't going to do well. I wasn't ready. I didn't have the experience. But, I just kind of said, Lord, if this is where you're calling me to be, you're going to have to give me the grace for me to learn how to do my job and do it well. EMI had just come off of a mega hit with Smokey Norfolk, I Need You Now. And they had signed this young 15-year-old girl who got her start singing as a feature on her mother's album, Finally Karen. And that was Kierra Sheard. And I remember we were preparing for this record to drop, and I had chosen this song. Everybody agreed this was going to be a good song. It was going to be a hard song to work at radio because it was kind of against the grain. But I felt like this is what it was supposed to be. And the song was called You Don't Know. And if anybody's familiar with that song, that was a monster hit. At the same time, in 2004, several of my colleagues in the industry and I have been lobbying Radio and Records, which was as much like what Billboard is, but it's for radio charts. And we had been lobbying to have our first ever gospel radio chart established. We were selling the records. We were getting gold and platinum records, as you can see on my wall, but we really didn't have something official in place to show what radio was doing. So we lobbied and finally successfully, and they were getting ready to drop the very first gospel radio chart ever in the marketplace, and we were super excited about it. And I've got a copy of the magazine here, Radio and Records. R&R is what we called it. Dana Hall and Maria Parker were our points, and they spearheaded making sure this chart got up and running. And it was a big day for gospel. And I tell you, when that first chart dropped, and I looked at it, and that 1 through 30, that number one record on that chart was the very record that people told me never was going to get played at gospel radio. The very first number one single on a gospel radio chart was Kierra Sheard, You Don't Know. And to add beauty to it, and I just wanted to show you this, at the end of the year, they always do a year end chart that shows the most played songs in each format. And at the end of the year, the most played song in 2004, and there's Kierra there, was You Don't Know, Kierra Kiki Sheard. And that to me was a huge accomplishment. It really set me on a trajectory to succeed. It helped build my confidence. And it was like the Lord was tapping me on my shoulder to say, trust me, be obedient to me, and I got you. So in 2008, when he told me to start EFG Promotions and Consulting, and it seemed like the most inopportune time to do that because my personal life was in shambles. I had a great job at Verity Zamba Gospel at that time. We were coming off of a mega hit, Never Would Have Made It, Bishop Marvin Sapp. And the Lord told me to start my own business. And I remember resigning. And before I resigned, the Lord provided me with my very first client, and that was EMI Gospel. I didn't even have to go looking for them. And my very first number one single as EFG Promotions and Consulting was Nobody Greater, Vashawn Mitchell. So when I, think about 2004 to now, I've had 27 number one singles. I've worked with some of the greatest artists in gospel music, including your CeCe Winans, your Erica Campbells, your Smokey Norfolks, your Jekalyn Carrs. Byron Cages. I can go down the list. The Lord has really blessed me to be able to partner in business and partner in ministry with so many great artists to really work to get their music out into the field, out into a space where God is trying to impact, to change, to save so many lives. And I've watched that happen real time with music, through music. And I'm honored to be able to partner with them and to know that so many of those songs that I've worked over the years are forever etched in the halls of gospel, and people are still singing them today.